When you think of that's mad funny. Elliot Wilson swinging on Cam.
Stop.
It's mad funny when you think about it. It's not
Elliot
like
got 1 foot in. Pause. He's almost out of here. Word.
Cam didn't go to your job or whatever
Gout
it was.
kicking ass all
Cam
this.
built something from nothing, put it together, and made his own thing. He didn't go to take something at Vibe or Rap Radar or whatever it is.
Made up his own shit.
So
What you talking about?
I'll say this: there's points that Elliot has made on this topic that I actually agree with. I didn't like his interview, this specific interview. I agree with you that he wasn't as good at explaining his point as he usually is. For whatever reason, he was really off on this interview.
I don't know if he was drunk or what, but someone was slurring.
Something was off.
He always does though. Blah, blah, blah. It's a lot.
Nah, I wouldn't say that.
Nah,
Elliot,
he sounded nuts. Up
he
there,
sounded.
pause.
Did you see it?
No, I didn't watch it, but
Yeah,
he always
yeah.
sounds
Nah,
like.
it's different, my
This
nigga. I'm
was
telling
different.
you.
Elliot,
After this shit, I'm gonna show you it. Pause.
yeah, Elliot is actually an excellent journalist. He's been a hip hop journalist for a long time.
Yeah.
Used to be the music editor at Double XL. What I agree with him on is that traditional journalism has kind of lost its way.
Fact.
And so we don't have investigative journalism. We don't have traditional journalism. And one of the key things about journalism is being unbiased. It's not bringing your opinion into it. Because we've lost so many journalists, we don't really get real interviews no more, right? Now, I like Cam and Mase are great. But what we see in this culture is because we don't have traditional journalism, either the artist decides to do their interview themselves, like you've seen with J. Cole in his most recent podcast where he just interviews himself, or you get Drake who has so much power who says, fuck journalists, and then he can pick and choose people who are outside of our culture to try to give you whatever point of view he wants, whatever narrative he wants you to hear. Like he'll go to Bobby Altoff. She's not in our culture. Why is she even talking to me about hip hop? I don't want to see her talk about hip hop. She'll never ask him any real question, right? Then he'll go to the white boy that he streams with. I don't know who he is either, right? And so we don't have journalists, so we don't really get the story. But Elliot, I don't like the point he was making in that interview. But I agree with him.
You don't get the story the way they're used to presenting it to you, but you do get the story. So the way the internet works now is like everything's been democratized. So I don't have to go to whatever like platform. I don't have to go to ABC or.
We're saying two different things, though. Let me say this: we're saying two completely different things.
Just conflating.
Yeah,
it's not.
I'm saying journalism again is unbiased. It takes the opinion out of it. Investigative journalism is I have sources, I work those sources, I do research. These are the facts. Like I would love for somebody, and again I'm using Drake, and I don't mean
that has its own lane.
You don't see it as often, especially in our culture, because they don't do that. Who's the hip hop journalist you read?
Okay, so
hold on.
I don't
ask
know.
direct
No,
question.
I personally know hip hop journalists. I'm not going to name
That's
them.
100%. It's the same thing with music, with film,
with everything now. Yeah,
there's no.
We've lost journalism.
So
there's no.
So what?
Because
the rudimentary part of it
because
makes it is not in it anymore.
Because you want to be entertained during it.
Correct.
That's why.
But
correct.
But that's a sign of the times. Niggas don't want just raw news when you watch the news.
That's correct.
So we don't have an investigative journalist in hip hop or. And I don't like to always.
Well, what were they writing about then?
Yeah, but I don't want to always put it as hip hop because we're not a hip hop podcast. Niggas like rap, but we don't talk about rap
we're not
all
hip
day.
hop podcast.
We just black people. So niggas say hip hop for black shit.
Yeah,
That's
and
what
not
we should name the podcast. We just black people.
Yeah, we just black niggas.
the next podcast.
All I'm saying, huh?
Damn, I'm tight. We ain't named the podcast that.
That's the next
Nah,
part.
but
just
real
black
talk.
people.
Niggas just attach hip hop to everything black. Nah, this ain't got nothing to do with hip hop. To keep it a buck, we talking about just black shit.
Yeah,
And that's why I said culture.
Yeah,
We
so
don't even have
our culture, we don't have an investigative journalist that's entertaining that you go to. So you don't have a go-to guy.
That's why you have a camera.
That's why you can't answer that question.
But no, I can answer the question.
And that's fine.
That's why you have
All right, so
us.
answer the question. Who's the guy you go
My
to?
boy Keith.
Who's? See?
You asked for that.
See?
I didn't.
Nah, but Keith, we know
Keith is an investigative journalist.
We know Keith?
Yeah, from
So-
Rapper Weed Keith.
I know
Belly
Keith.
You know, he doesn't personally know Keith.
I
Not
know
personally.
Keith. We, who's we? Y'all two know Keith.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Nah, niggas met Keith before.
Hold on. We don't know Keith. The niggas that's watching this right now don't know Keith.
They don't.
They don't.
Salute to Keith.
But you know who they do know? They know Elliot, because Keith
Okay,
is a
but-
much lesser version
No,
of
no,
Elliot.
I understand.
So-
You asked me who my journalist was, but my question is,
Go ahead.
what exposés was being written in Double XL magazine?
You'd have to go back and read them.
But what were they like? What was the investigation?
That's where you used to get. That's where they used to
But
really review. I'm
I
trying to answer
understand.
your question. That's where they used to really review albums. That's where they used to really go beyond the story on hip hop artists.
But that's You're saying investigative journalism.
And I said go beyond the story on hip hop artists. Maybe tell you where they come from, what their influences are. That's where you would learn back in the day when people would read shit. That's where you would learn. But now we don't have that.
Let me just make this point really quickly.
Go.
But we don't need them to do that anymore because now the artist could come out and tell you all of that background information.
But that's not journalism. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
But I don't need that now. So now you're asking me to have a middleman for me to tell you my story. I don't need Elliot because I could just tell you.
It's biased though, and this is not journalism. This is what I'm saying. Like a question I would have going back to the back and forth between Drake and Kendrick. If somebody could sit down with Drake and say, "How did you feel to get your ass whipped?"
Yeah.
You'll never get that. He's not going to tell you that.
Correct, and he's not going to sit down with the person that would ask that.
And that's what a journalist does.
And that's fine.
It's not even me attacking you. It's just me getting the story.
But it's fine, my nigga. But now niggas have grown, artists have grown bigger than music, pause, right?
That's a fact.
They're past the music and they're famed for their personalities now and their characters.
That's a
it's
fact.
Outside of
it's
the music.
cults of personalities.
So
niggas are just tight that like people could circumvent them and they don't need ABC.
That's true though.
Elliot
He's
Wilson.
right.
Two things both are true. Yeah.
Niggas
Because you're talking about reviews, not exposés, because like niggas just now ran down on Diddy. So where's the investigative journalism?
Niggas get to shape how the
Diddy
shit
been
is
in jail
received
for a
now.
while.
Pause.
Yeah.
And how y'all get the information and how
They give you that narrative. It's a narrative
They
now.
play,
We get
they
narratives
put their
as
own narrative
opposed to
on
a
it.
story.
It's a fact.
And so that's why I said they both. He makes a point. Now I didn't like him on that interview, and he should have left Cam and Mace out of it.
Yeah.
Right.
So
He just should have
that
left
was
Cam
hate.
and Mace out of it. That
hate.
was hate, but he admitted that.
Fuck out of it.
Question, because you said unbiased.
Yes.
Right? When has journalism or anything ever really actually been unbiased?
Real journalism is unbiased.
No, it's
No,
never.
it's
It's
supposed
never
to
been.
be.
It's supposed to be
right.
that way.
That's what you get taught.
But it's never been that way.
CNN, Fox News,
Yeah.
whoever.
Now I'm
Yeah,
talking
it's
about
supposed
back
to.
in the day with like
It's
Walter
but you're right, they're
Cronkite
parts.
Even
type
back
shit.
in the day, Walter Cronkite, it was never unbiased because even us as black people, they've never. It's always
Correct.
biased.
That's a
No matter what, as humans, we all have bias. So it's impossible to be unbiased when you do journalism. However you
It's
feel.
easy to be unbiased.
It's not,
No, it's
nigga.
not.
Stop, Reg. We did this before.
We're not talking
Reg.
about opinion pieces. If I'm reporting the news, this happened, this happened, this happened. Where's the opinion in that?
The way you deliver it says a lot, right? If you say something about a homeless person and you saying, well, homeless people did this and this on 9th Street, and I say it's gonna sound completely different. We feel differently about them.
And
Okay.
what they and the stories they choose to display on the news are not always accurate, and they over police, right? And they over report as well. They don't tell you about the white nigga that had a shootout with the cops.
Yeah.
They never tell you about
That's
that part.
when
But it
that's
happened.
when the news became for profit. When the news was basically like,
It was always for profit.
no, it wasn't.
News is always.
Get to your story, because I want to hear how
we
the
can
shit
stop.
hasn't been
No,
biased. No, I want to
originally-
hear that. Nah,
I'm
get back.
telling you now. Originally, the news wasn't for profit.
All right, fuck all
So
that.
there was no. All right.
Get back to the why is niggas not biased? I don't understand that. Niggas
Okay,
is biased. The
so
news has
now
always been
news
biased.
is if you watch
My whole
CNN,
years,
if
every
you watch
time.
CNN and MSNBC and whatever, most of that shit now is personalities. It's a cult of personality. It's like Rachel Maddow telling you her opinion of the shit that happened.
Gotcha.
What I'm talking about is prior to that, when it was like Walter Cronkite, but you didn't know how he felt or what his personal politics were or whatever. He was just telling you what the fuck happened.
Right.
That was it.
So now he's telling you, but it comes from somewhere. There are people who write what he says, right? Walter Cronkite's not there like, I'm a freestyle this. No, he sits down and they go, here's everything you're gonna talk about, stuff like that. Now the person right now, are they biased or not?
Okay.
Because they're gonna write a certain
I'm
way
saying
about
niggas got
black
robbed.
people, whether it's about black people, whether it's about women, whether it's about
But-
Hispanic people, whatever it is, what the neighborhood, it's gonna be some bias in there. It's what it is.
It's a fact.
It's
I totally agree.
impossible to avoid
It is
that.
impossible today, yesterday, when we was first born. It's impossible to not have a bias. It's built in, nigga.
In picking the stories, I can see that.
It's
In
built in.
reporting the facts, it's difficult.
But even how they report the facts, the way that they report the facts, it's a group of white kids that's doing some shit and they rowdy. They're just young teenagers.
Yes.
It's a group of black kids.
thugs.
These
That's criminals.
thugs, criminals,
Hoods.
you get-
Hoodlums.
It's a fact.
So it's
I
like
can see that point.
that's
That's
a great
how journalism.
That's
He
how
explained
it's
it better
how
than you.
news-
I'm just saying that was a good point.
That's how it's delivered.
The fact
explained
that
it
you
better
needed
than
to be explained that way says so much about
No,
you.
he communicated it better. It's like
How
what's the
everyone
problem?
in the room understood it but you.
I'll still
Okay, but
I
I'll
think
he
it's a
still,
explained it
comprehension
better.
problem.
I'll still say this
he
though.
explained it
I
better.
feel like Elliot makes a point about journalism because what we even
Take
discussed.
some accountability.
No, you just have a bias.
Your
and
argument
you
was
didn't wanna do
bad.
it.
Your argument was bad. His was better.
No, it wasn't because everybody in the room understood it but you.
all I did
I
was
get it.
just
It's just a little delay.
Yeah.
I'll just say-
Who's
added
fucking?
details.
Who's fucking?
Kick
See?
the door.
Who died? Who's fucking?
What if?
So now you're throwing the pipe bomb. You got to chill out.
Yeah, no, I agree with Elliot to a point. That's all I'm saying.
Nah, I don't
we don't
agree.
have
I don't agree
journalists.
at all.
We
I
don't
have,
agree
we
at
have
all.
personalities right now.
And he's been trying to be
I-
a personality for 15 years.
Word.
He's been successful at it. I'm not taking nothing from Elliot now.
He's good at journalism. Cool. Ain't nobody reading that though. It's quiet.
He's
Sign of
good
the
at
times.
he's good
People
at the
are-
Cam and
personality
Mason
too.
kicking niggas' ass
nigga,
right now, and
that's
they
a
mad.
fact.
Yo,
100%.
Elliot has a thriving podcast.
All,
And that's fine.
All
That's
middlemen
fine.
It's
are
the
But,
same
afraid
thing.
of-
hold on.
with
How
rap music.
thriving
He's not a
is it if
middleman.
you have to take a shot at Cam to try to get Cam to respond to bait new niggas to get your viewership up?
But all he
So
did,
how much thriving is you doing, nigga? Fuck out of here.
all
nigga.
he did was prove a point. That's what everybody does.
But hold on, but Cam ain't doing that. Cam ain't kicking no niggas back in to try to
But
get more views.
Elliot ain't the first man to try to kick Cam's back in though.
Hold on, and Cam respond to everybody.
He do. But I'm saying everybody does that because that is the game.
And I get that. All I'm saying is,
Like-
so he's not thriving as much as you making it seem. Because
They-
Cam and
if
Mace
they all
kicking
do
ass.
that though, and they're all thriving, then
Hey,
they all
my nigga,
thriving.
them niggas is
So-
they winning.
So now,
Cam and
So
Mace
is
winning.
Joe, and he do that every week.
so
Yeah,
now,
but he don't have to. Joe Buttons
why
could
he- then why
podcast
he
with the
do
nigga
it?
from Clear Eyes, and it would be lit.
I get that, but why he do it?
but
He could podcast with Clear Eyes. and that shit, niggas will watch that.
But he do it.
That nigga is the most entertaining podcaster. He got it.
That's a fact.
He is.
He got it. Simple.
but
Ain't nothing you can say about Joe Buttons.
Controversy
That's
sells
it.
though. Controversy does.
That's cool, and
Yeah,
that's a
yeah.
fact.
Controversy
That's why he bring up Drake every once a month. However,
That's all I was
he
about
don't
to go
need
there.
to do it.
I don't think any of them need to. Like
So,
Elliot don't
I don't
need
think
to.
Elliot
but controversy
wants to
sells.
be. I don't think
to
he
be
wants to
honest,
be a
I don't
journalist
know.
anymore.
I don't know Elliot Wilson's podcast.
Okay, that's fair.
Never heard it.
That's
That
fair.
nigga doesn't want to do the
has
interviews
to
anymore.
do it.
He wants to be the subject.
Elliot?
He has to.
Yes.
Yeah.
Nah, I would disagree
Yo,
with you.
here's
there.
why Joe Button, people are interested in Joe Button, the person.
They are.
If Joe Button stops podcasting, he'll still be a name next year, the year after.
Niggas is not tuning in to hear what Elliot Wilson did.
Nobody cares about Elliot Wilson, the
Everybody
person.
still knows who Elliot Wilson is.
Hold on, niggas
Knowing
is
who he
not
is
tuning
and caring
in to
is
hear about
different.
his story. They want to hear
No.
his take on whatever happened that week.
Correct.
No current events, niggas ain't watching Elliot Wilson.
Okay.
Niggas is watching Cameron talking about Sprite.
That's a fact. They're
Niggas is watching
far
Mason
better-
Cam no matter what.
They're
These
far
niggas
better
got it right now.
personalities. They're far better personalities.
Not far better personalities.
Yeah.
They're just personalities that actually what niggas care about or want to see.
Same.
Niggas is not watching Elliot Wilson for anything but his take on a specific topic.
All right.
Which is, and I'm not. I don't give a fuck about his take.
I know. You
I
do.
doubt anybody in this room does. However, he is a journalist,
Yeah, he
and
is.
he has an opinion, a strong opinion on certain shit. And I guess that matters to some people. That's
To
relevant
some.
too,
Yeah. Mhm.
right? However, there's a reason that he's taking a shot at Cam, right? To get some fire,
Get
up
some
on his
momentum.
shit.
To go some
Yeah.
momentum.
That's not even
like-
journalism no
that's
more.
corny.
You,
Just what it
want to
is.
be.
It's corny.
just
So
you
hold
wanna
on.
be a
game.
star.
You
Said,
can't complain.
Next we got a light Reg on fire. It's what's gonna be the thing?
It's gonna happen.
What meeting?
Next live
did
show.
this happen at?
It was in the text, my nigga. My fault.
You wasn't
Group
there.
chat.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, next live show is lit.
Yeah,
Super light.
literally, like lit. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
He's on
That's what I'm
fire.
saying, but you can't complain about the times, right? And oh no, this is not, and then just still
gotta
be trying to
run
use the how to rob times.
playing the-
You know what I'm
he's-
saying? Like
he's
you
playing the
trying
game.
to trying to enact shit that you learned from rappers.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? That shit is corny, my nigga. That's all I'm saying. Fuck that nigga.
So if you're doing interviews and you're starting
Shit is wrong.
arguments and beefs or whatever, you're no longer outside of the culture or outside of the conversation.
Because if that's the
you're
case,
in
why the fuck
beef,
we don't ever use that?
if you're in
That
the
just ain't
beef,
us.
that's a
Hold on,
problem.
but just keep it a buck.
Yeah.
If that's the wave, and that's what everybody. Cause that's what you just said. Everybody does that.
Yeah.
That's what
But
you said.
not-
why
we
don't
don't
we?
do
Have, hold on, but why don't we ever
We are the
employ those
exceptions to the-
tactics?
we are the
We're
exception.
We're not inauthentic.
Yeah.
I understand
When
that.
niggas tune in because we're authentic.
Yeah.
That's a
We
fact.
share real views. Niggas do not have the same opinion.
Yeah.
Damn.
Not go along to get
Right.
along. I'm cooking. That's why it's fire.
You telling me about?
But like at the end of the day, niggas tune in because they're getting a slice of like real shit, genuine shit.
But it's the same.
not
I don't
other
feel like
shit.
we
What's the
need to
same-
lean on that shit though. We don't.
We don't have to. Hold on.
Nigga, we avoid bringing people up here.
Correct.
Yes.
Well, hold
Yes,
on.
that's a
But
fact.
Cam and
Because
Mason is the
niggas
same
don't-
thing. It's like when you go have a strong ass debate in the barbershop.
Yeah.
This shit is like a stress relief almost.
It
And
is.
now when you watching someone else do it, it's the same feel.
100%.
It's the same shit. That's why
But
niggas
we
watch
all,
us.
in the room, we all agree what Cam and Mase is doing is
Yeah.
like unprecedented as far as like
Correct. On that level.
who they are, and what the background that they come
Yes.
from to be able to kill it in this arena.
It's like what we're
But like
doing
you
on
said,
steroids.
100%.
Yes.
But like you said, they embody whatever that barbershop energy
Yes.
is, and just threw that shit on wax.
Wasn't
Right.
And it
Elliot
works.
Wilson in the Drake beef though?
Yeah.
Like, so then you're not impartial. If you're a part of the story, then it's no longer like impartial, a non-biased journalism.
Yeah.
But Elliot
You're a
Wilson
part of the
was
I
beef.
just don't believe. I don't believe in the whole non-biased
You know what I
shit.
mean?
Niggas
He's a big
accidental.
target of Eminem as well.
Yeah.
He's been a target of a lot of hip, and it's usually been because he was just
spitting,
doing
son.
his honest.
Yeah,
bias
like,
is built
fam,
in.
you
You
can't be
wanna
unbiased.
Can't.
you wanna be part of the conversation. So you're not a journalist anymore. You want to be the star. Like you secretly want to be the guy.
I mean, and I would also
That's the
say
interview.
Elliot kind of spearheaded a lot of these interviews the way we see him now with Rap Radar. Rap Radar is like the godfather to a lot of these hip hop interviews and podcasts
it's
that
not.
we're seeing. Who came before Rap Radar that was sitting with all the biggest stars?
Angie Martinez.
So that's radio. I'm saying
Wendy Williams?
when we move to streaming, Rap Radar was
So
really one of the first large
that's
The
platforms.
Podcast,
medium's
right?
different, but it's the
That's
same
his
shit.
podcast.
It used to be
Yeah.
his interview series. He sat
That
down with
doesn't
Jay.
make sense,
Huh?
Amar.
What?
The medium's different, but like it's still that style interview.
Are we on radio right now? Is this radio?
It doesn't matter where it's at.
Is this radio though?
No, it's not radio.
So it's different.
How?
So we are radio.
We're playing on someone's radio.
You got it.
Oh, they squabbling now.
You got
No,
it.
are we not? No, I'm just saying
Got it.
you're saying that.
I don't know who radio we
that type of
play on
interview.
though, but
It doesn't matter where he did it. It wasn't like original, the first one. Like,
Yeah, that's your man's or something. You really fuck with
I got a
him.
lot of respect for Elliot.
Yeah, man, fuck out of here, my nigga.
yeah.
No one's disrespecting him. We're just saying.
Nah,
like,
we are.
Just be honest with what your motivation.
we
is.
are.
that too.
Nah, we are. Cause I'm
that
just
too.
saying, niggas hating, man. That's
Yo,
just
Keith said he fuck you up, Elliot Wilson.
Yeah, and I'm on Keith's side because that's your man. So if Keith your
will
man, that's
whoop
my
that
man.
nigga ass.
Yeah, and I'm
Keith
put
is-
Keith on Elliot.
Keeps the one
Flat
who
out.
did
And if he
the.
can't, lethal hands will.
Oh, nah, chill.
yeah.
They gonna sue us. They gonna sue us.
Shout out
chill,
Keith. He's
chill.
the one who did the Men's Health Hip Hop is 50 issue
but-
that went viral. Keith put that together.
That's a fact.
Oh,
Salute to
With
Keith.
Method Man
Derek shot it.
and a bunch of the other rappers. Yeah.
Yeah.
So when they had their shirts of rubbing nipples, that was his idea.
Oh.
Like, I don't think Keith
I
was
didn't see
there. Who
it.
shot that?
Real? Oh, I was about to say,
They did have their shirts off together. Though.
Derek, you was part of that?
Thank you for watching. If you made it this far, please like, comment, and subscribe. For more content, click over here. And most importantly, sign up for our Patreon. We need the money. Reg, stop lying.